As usual, I like to start out by thanking everyone who posted their questions. For those new to the podcast, I so often post in the community section asking viewers to leave their questions, which I answer to the best of my ability in videos like this. Let's begin. What does a made guy do when his parole officer is a nonstop ball buster and makes his parole quite difficult? For starters, I don't believe a parole or federal probation officer truly cares if you're a member of the mob or not. If they want to give you a hard time, they will. And the only thing you could do in that situation is deal with it and don't give them an excuse to violate you. We don't really think of wise guys of having normal hobbies. Did you know of any guys who were good musicians? None that I knew of. I knew how to play the drums, but most guys had habits like cigars, golf, motorcycles, hunting, etc. Do you think law enforcement will catch Barney Bellomo and Lorenzo Menino? Is the FBI getting frustrated in their attempts to indict the bosses of the two most powerful families? The FBI moves at a slow, deliberate pace and believes in stacking the deck. Remember, it's their job to surveil and gather information, which they turn over to the U.S. Attorney's Office, who brings indictments. So I don't think it's necessarily frustration, but more so practicing patience. In addition, it's always quiet before the storm. The next question is regarding social clubs. Specifically, can any neighborhood resident walk in? Can any made member? What about associates of the crew whose club it is, or associates of other families? Can a person who knows a wise guy walk in and look for their friend? Are they screened at the door? Is there someone screening people? Is someone outside passing messages to the captain before a person's allowed in? To begin with, social clubs, for the most part, are a thing of the past. As for who can enter one, typically civilians are going to be questioned who they're looking for. If a person's looking for their friend, someone will go and get the friend if he's there. As for screening at the door, there's no official doorman. And it depends on the situation whether a message will be passed along to a captain. These are places where civilians usually don't walk into. And if they do, for whatever reason, and don't know anyone, they'll more than likely be told it's a private club. You mentioned that Anthony Guzzo was hesitant about being straightened out. Do you think he saw the handwriting on the wall? First of all, Anthony wasn't hesitant. He was adamant and had to be convinced into moving forward. Ironically, while in front of his house, I said to him, "We'll look out for each other. You have my back and I have yours." Does the term given an envelope mean that there's money literally in the envelope, or is it just a saying? Is relocating your family to another state allowed? Would you be expected to kick up in a new place? Can relocating be a ticket out of the mob? The term or saying given an envelope means exactly that, and money better be in that envelope. As far as relocating, it's permitted with permission, and you would still be expected to kick up. And no, it's definitely not a ticket out of the mob, as you can be told to come in at any time. Did you ever speak or hear about Joe Beck di Palermo? Joe Beck was an old-time Lucchese captain who was very big in the narcotics business. I've only heard of him and never met him. One of the guys in Joe Cafe's crew was related to him. The commission rules set in 1931 contain guidelines about facial hair. I honestly don't know. I believe the clean shave look came after the era of the mustache Pete's. It's very common for men in the mob to cheat. Are their wives aware of what's going on, or just accept it, or do they resent it? I can't speak for the wives. However, most guys don't want to get caught, so I guess that speaks for their wives accepting it. Would guys from crews favor scores or earns that were associated with the West Side more than other families? In present day, compared to the past, scores are few and far in between. So when the opportunity for a score becomes a possibility, it doesn't matter who's involved. The objective is making money. Are some families considered more sophisticated than other ones in terms of rackets they're engaged in? I believe every family has guys who excel in certain rackets, not just a specific family. Do you think Nikki Black had thoughts of going for Messino, if not for the Brasco situation, but seeing he was manipulating people and killing for his own interest of getting to the top spot? I believe this person is speaking about Sonny Black Napolitano, not Nikki Black. I don't believe Sonny Black had plans on moving on Messino. Remember, he was the person the FBI went to and revealed Brasco's true identity, which without a doubt shook him up. I also believe he felt responsible, although that responsibility fell on Mira and Ruggiero. What's your opinion on The Godfather Part 3? No offense to Francis Ford Coppola, but The Godfather 3 is nowhere near as good as Part 1 and 2. There is a book on meditation by the author Bo Laszloff from the U.S. Phoenix Trust that was big in prison during the 90s. Have you read it? And what's the mob's view on yoga, spirituality, and meditation in prison? I haven't read the book, but I'll put it on my list of things to read. As far as yoga, spirituality, and meditation, that's all personal preference. For example, I mentioned in the past Ernie Grillo being into Buddhism and meditation. Wondering if Joker poker machines was still a moneymaker for the mob in New York City and Jersey. Also, did the mob have influence in the building trade unions while you were a member of that life? I'm not sure about the rest of the mob. I know the Gambinos dealt a little in the machines, but as far as the Lucchese family, Johnny Sideburns so kindly handed over the Joker poker business to the Albanians. As far as the trade unions, the mob's always been involved and had influence with the unions in New York. Let me quickly mention the super thanks icon found beneath this video in the 3-dot dropdown for anyone who'd like to show appreciation for videos like this. And thank you. The next set of questions is in regard to Nicky Scarfo Jr. We may have had some of these before, but I'm not sure. How is Nikki Jr. perceived to the Lucchese family, and why did his father choose this particular family? Was his promotion to captain out of nepotism, opportunities, or legacy? During his rise in the Lucchese family, was there pressure from Philly, or did some guys work with him? Nikki Jr.'s move to the Lucchese family was before my time. As far as how he was perceived, it didn't matter what anybody thought, because that came from the top, Vic Amuso. After he was shot, his father, who was with Vic, naturally asked him to help his son, and that's why his move to the Lucchese's took place. His promotion to a captain's position might have been at the urging of Vic, which would fall under nepotism, but I truly don't know the reasoning behind making him a captain, nor do I know what relationship he may or may not have had with any Philly guys. And lastly, by bringing legitimate guys into the family, is Mikey DeSantis attempting to legitimize the Lucchese family? I don't believe so. From what he told me, his reasoning for doing so was to bring legitimate guys in and use their money to create legitimate businesses to help guys and the family earn money.